I love the fans. I love being out there. I just want to give the best performance I can possibly give. It's all worth it because I'll be able to show these people the kind of passion I have for sports entertainment.
And of course, I will absolutely never forget, I'm the sexy Kurt, I'm gonna make your ankle hurt.
I was taking about 4 a day. Didn't take me long before I doubled up to 8. After that, it went higher, higher, higher.
I gave him a call, and as we were talking there for about an hour to an hour and a half, and you know, his voice changed from being very coherent to kind of starting to slur. And I've been around enough guys, and I've given a few other calls like that. And I just said, dude, are you all right? And he's kind of said, "Go, Steve, I'm telling you, I'm fine. I can't imitate his slurring voice," but he didn't sound good. And I was honestly scared for him.
Vince McMahon saw a change in my behavior.
Turn those off a second.
And he had Jim Ross call me. He said, listen, you need to get off the stuff. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, we know you're doing something.
Some of those guys are really proud, man. They don't admit they got problems. They don't show any weakness. It's a sickness. They're over-medicating, and they start feeling very guilty, and they feel very vulnerable, and then stuff starts unraveling. And it's happened to a lot of, and it's not just wrestling. Drug issues are not a pro wrestling issue. It's all of our issues.
This is tough. There was a point where my sister was getting in a lot of trouble. She didn't have money. She was living in Virginia Beach. She was taking a lot of drugs, and I knew she was. I adored her. She was a great woman. She just ended up in 3 bad marriages. Her value of herself became nothing. She just thought she was useless, and it drove her to a point where she started using drugs. She kept calling me for money. I kept sending her money. She kept telling me the bills were racking up. I found out later she was using it for drugs. So when I found out that she was $35,000 in debt, I gave her an ultimatum. I told her she has to move up to Pittsburgh, live with my mother, or I wouldn't pay her debt. So she moved. She came back. She didn't want to, but she didn't have a choice. So she moved back to Pittsburgh. I paid off that $35,000 debt, and she seemed to be doing okay for a while. Then she relapsed, and so for the next 8 months, I didn't talk to her. And then she overdosed. I wish I would have talked to her. I find out that night that my sister died of heroin overdose. When you're taking the drug, you're in denial of anything else. It's the only thing that's on your mind. You're thinking about how you're going to get it the next day, and, you know, it takes control of your life. By this time, I was already 40 deep into painkillers, so I started taking more. My mom would call me all the time to see how I was doing, and I'd lie to her all the time. Tell her I was okay. The higher I got, the better I felt. Or I should say, the less I felt. These painkillers can hide a lot of pain, not just physical, but emotional. Between my dad and Dave Schultz and my sister Leanne, it's just like nothing ever gets easier.
As he was over-medicating himself, trying to manage his pain, his personality started changing. and he knew he was carrying a burden, and you could see that that burden was starting to wear on him.
There were a lot of things that were going through my mind that I had to get away from. I was always running away from problems. You know, the pills were my sanctuary. I would say that every evening I went to bed, I would put about 18 pills next to my counter. I'd be going through withdrawal. When I woke up, I would throw those down and chew them up and swallow them. I do it in the morning and after my match at night. I made sure I didn't look messed up or high when I worked out or messed up or high when I was doing a show. But when the show was over, it was fair game.
This guy who's an Olympic gold medalist, one of the toughest guys I know, you don't think anything can happen to him, and you think he's bulletproof, but nobody is.
I've seen way too many good people. It takes over your life, it takes over your mind, it takes over all of your relationships. It just, it sucks, and it sucks to watch from the outside, and I can't even imagine what it's like to experience.
I was taking pills to feel normal. Over time, you build a tolerance, and you have to have more and more and more and more. 1 led to 2, 2 led to 4, 4 led to 8. Before I know it, within 6 months, I was taking 65 of them a day. The hardest part about being an addict is knowing where you're going to get your drugs next. It would make you do crazy stuff. I mean, I started stealing pain meds and just doing crazy stuff that I never thought I would ever do. I had to have my fix every day, and I had to set up a schedule. I had a calendar where every other day I would call a doctor to get a script, and then every couple weeks I would call my Mexico contact to get my painkillers illegally sent to me. And I had to keep up on this schedule. It was my number one priority. It was above my work. It was everything.
I have a lot of respect for Kurt, like a big brother. And to see him like shaking, and it just made me angry. And I just got angry with him. And was like, man, don't let people see you like that. You know, like, man, you Kurt Angle.
When you get a hold of these drugs and they get a hold of you, there's no way to quit. I mean, I was taking enough to kill a horse. I remember going in to meet with Vince, and he told me, listen, you got to get your ass straight. You're going to die. You can't keep doing this. So the ultimatum was, we would like you to go to rehab or leave WWE. And that is the reason I quit. I decided to quit WWE. I didn't go to rehab because I didn't want to let go of the drug.
Kurt's downward spiral, it was hard for everybody to see. When it comes to addiction, it's really difficult because unless that person wants help, there's not a lot you can do. So you're sort of just kind of watching it happen, and you're helpless. And Vince doesn't handle that well, so it was difficult for him.
Well, there's been a lot of rumors as to why exactly Kurt Angle was released. Can you set the record straight right now?
Some of it is confidential, and I'd love to, tell you exactly what the story is, but it really revolves around Kurt's health more than anything else.
I didn't want to quit, so I had to go somewhere else.
Here's this once-in-a-lifetime talent. He's one of the best ever, and that's down at TNA. And I'm thinking, man, TNA, they're not at our level.
When I left WWE, I started drinking alcohol in TNA. So now I was mixing the pills with the alcohol.
The debacle of a run he had in TNA, he's lucky he's not dead. Seriously.
I was so out of control. My life completely spun out of control. My first wife, she moved out with my first 2 kids. I don't want to be a screw-up. you gotta stay clean. If you're an addict and you have a problem with drugs, you gotta stay clean.
I think Kurt knows the new him now, and I think he's happy with the new version of him. I don't know many people that will get here from there. He missed out a lot on life, but he's trying to make it up with these kids.
Hey, Dada. Hey, Dada. Dada.
Yeah!
You know, with the friends that I've had who've dealt with addiction, and again, some successfully and some not successfully, I always felt, though, in my heart and deep in my bones, that Kurt was a man with great resolve. So I felt like with the right people around him and the right support around him, he was going to overcome it. And I'm very proud of my friend for continuing to push himself to be the best husband and father and friend and all the things that he is to many, many people, the best he can be.
I was surprised that I was getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I thought WWE never wanted to speak to me again. If I'd have done the right thing and listened to Vince back then, I would have stayed in WWE all this time.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true. For Vince, in some way, it was like a son coming home and then getting together for the first times and almost picking up right where they left off. Like just the level of fun that they were having. It was really cool to see.
And think about it. I did have a Hall of Fame career. The little time I spent there, the 6 years, was a very impressionable 6 years. And I know how good it was because I knew how good I was.
I want to thank my 5 beautiful children, Kira, Cody, Juliana, Sophia, and Nicoletta. You guys are my life. And last but not least, I want to thank the one person that saved my life. She was there at my worst, and she's here now at my very best. And that's my beautiful wife, Giovanna. I love you to the moon and back, babe.
I saw him work so hard to get where he is today. I saw the strength. And I think he is excited of what can this Kurt Angle be? What can this Kurt Angle do?
Here's a guy who is a world-class athlete. He's also the kind of guy who, whatever he wants to do in the future, he can accomplish it.
Juliana.
It's never too late to make changes in your life. It sure as hell isn't too late to save your own life. And that's what Kurt Angle did. It's a great ending for this story that could have very easily been one of the great American sports tragedies that we would have read about in our lifetime.
I think I want Kurt Angle to be remembered, not for the mistakes he's made, but what he was able to accomplish in his lifetime.
The new WWF champion! It's a celebration for the Angle family!
I just want people to know that none of us are perfect. And I want them to know that I wasn't perfect either. But I was able to overcome many obstacles. Because I'm a fighter. A fighter that never gave up on anything. Went down to my stomach. First thing I thought was 4 more years. I have to do this 4 more years. Because I can't just stop at a silver.
What will be the outcome? They can't decide. There it is! And it's going to be Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle of the United
States. Got on my knees and I thanked God, and I thought about my dad, and I thought about Dave Schultz, how proud of them they would have been to me. And oh man, Dave would have ran out on that mat and lifted me up on his shoulders. What a tough year. I mean, Dave gets killed and Foxcatcher breaks down and you don't have a club, and then Nancy Schultz gives you the Dave Schultz Wrestling Club. Everything that we went through that year, my broken neck and all this work he put in, it's done. You don't have to worry anymore. You don't have to stress anymore.
To be honest, nobody's going off to win the Olympics to like be a millionaire, you know, no one ever thinks that, but you at least think that, you know, you should have like a path for a career for the rest of your life, and usually people just end up with an Olympic medal in one hand and their in the other.
When you win something or you're awarded something that you dreamed about since you were a kid, and you felt like there was nothing else more important than that, and you finally accomplish it, you wake up the next day and you say, what am I going to do now?
Hit the music.
What does he mean by that?
I think I'm
To have the family.
I am forever grateful to have been able to say I worked with Kurt Angle.
We're all going to miss him tremendously.
Kudos to Kurt, all-time great. Everything about that guy's 5 stars.
Hey, Kurt, man, we just want to say how much we respect you, how much it has meant to me and Dave just to be able to get in the ring with you, to be in the same locker room with you.
Thanks,
it really means a lot.
Yeah, you know, I meant when I set out there, you know, I've been looking up to you since I was a kid, and, you know, to share the ring with you, and, you know, honor doesn't even begin to describe it, so just thank you, man, for all you've done for wrestling.
I appreciate it, man. You guys are so talented. You have no idea how good you guys truly are. I was in the ring with you guys, and Eddie, you're a one talented individual. I love the way you wrestle. Davey,
thank you, man.
You too, but I saw you using my ankle lock.
I mean, I used to use it back before I came here, man. It was like, it wasn't no disrespect, you know?
Listen, you're allowed to use it. Okay, many of the greats, Ken Shamrock, he passed to me, I'm passing along to you. It's your time, man.
Oh, yeah.
You deserve it. Wow. Listen, you guys got beer money tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, get ready, get your game face on, go out there and do the best you can, kick their asses.
Oh, yeah, we will, man.
And when it's over, I'll teach you a few maneuvers on the ankle lock. You look
got
like a
it,
little
man.
candy store, man.
Appreciate it, Kurt. Thank you.
All right,
man.
good luck tonight,
Thank
guys.
you.
Go
You
get
too.
it.
Thank you. Let's do this.
Side ambush on Taz. Look at Kurt Angle. Oh, what a takedown on Taz.
I don't like failure. I don't fail at anything.
Kurt Angle's undefeated streak continued, and he seemed ready for a triumphant return to his hometown of Pittsburgh.
Finally, your Olympic hero has come back to Pittsburgh. I am still undefeated here in the World Wrestling Federation. And tonight, I will face The Rock. The People's Champion is no match for the Olympic champion.
Buster by The Rock. He pops right up. You know, I think you can feel that momentum that has turned here. JR, I think Kurt Angle fixed to feel something. I think he's fixed to feel the most electrifying move in sports entertainment history, the People's Elbow. There it is. Right in the heart of the Olympic. The Rock, will that be enough there? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The Rock has finally stopped Angle's unhid streak.
Here is your winner.
Witness history.
I don't want to blame it on the crowd, but let's face it, when people are cheering boring to you and they're cheering for the other guy and you can't figure out why, especially when you're born in that town, that really got to me. And I think that's I know that's the reason I lost.
But even though Kurt Angle's undefeated streak was broken, he was soon to have his first shot at WWF Gold.
And tonight, I have decided to treat all of you and become the next European champion.
European title is on the line. Val Venis, the champion, against the former Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. Should be a great matchup, and Val hammers away with the right hands. Look out, Val Venis misses, and Kurt Angle follows it up with a clothesline. Val Venis has been a tremendous European champion. And look at Val hitting Kurt Angle in his face on that barricade outside the ring. Oh, and what a shot! And Kurt Angle hangs Val Venis up on the top rope. And check out the Olympic gold medalist. Push on Taz. Look at Kurt Angle. Oh, takedown on Taz.
I don't like failure. I don't fail at anything.
Kurt Angle's undefeated streak continued, and he seemed ready for a triumphant return to his hometown of Pittsburgh.
Finally, your Olympic hero has come back to Pittsburgh. I am still undefeated here in the World Wrestling Federation.
Students of Penn State, I encourage you to seek the joys of celibacy. Join me in Olympic Heroes for Abstinence. The best sex is no sex.
This is the story of a WWF superstar.
I am thankful for the 3 I's: intensity, integrity, and intelligence.
His name is Kurt Angle.
If you want to suck on something,
He's an Olympic champion. And since his debut in the WWF, he's been king of the ring, held the European title, the Intercontinental belt, and the WWF Championship, all in less than 1 year. We decided to catch up with Kurt Angle on the set of a WWF commercial shoot to ask, what is Kurt Angle really like?
You people must be excited to have a man of intensity, integrity, and intelligence among you.
I am still human, and you know, people can look up to me, but they do need to realize that I grew up just like them, and they could actually accomplish what I've accomplished if they set their mind to it. Maybe.
Join us as we find out the truth about Kurt Angle.
You know, we have had other Olympic athletes associated with the World Wrestling Federation in the past, but never a gold medalist, never anyone that actually won a gold medal in the Olympics. And Kurt Angle, man, you can't take that away from him. I mean, you can say what you want to about his personality or his, I mean, any kind of thing, but you can never take away the fact that at that moment in the 1996 Olympics, he was the best in the world.
He is probably the most appropriate and acceptable role model here in the World Wrestling Federation. He truly lives up to his credo of intensity, integrity, and intelligence.
He's a funny dude, man. I'm gonna be honest. When I see Kurt Angle, I laugh. He's the type of kid that that I look at and it's just, he reminds me of one of the Little Rascals.
Well, when I was hired, obviously, I was hired because of my credentials, being an Olympic gold medalist. Vince McMahon came to me and he saw a man of 3 eyes. Probably the only man here, and not to put down the other guys, but he saw a man with intensity, integrity, and intelligence. And very seldom in this lifetime are you gonna see a man with all 3 eyes. So I knew that I was gonna be something special.
Apprentice, and if you stick with me, you're going places. I will make you a winner.
But it seemed inevitable that this team would eventually lose.
That was Steve Blackman's loss. For the record, I am still undefeated in the World Wrestling Federation.
Angle and Blackman seemed to settle their differences at Armageddon, and Kurt Angle remained undefeated. But as he continued to rack up an unprecedented winning streak, it seemed that his efforts to help Blackman had backfired.
This is Jericho's finishing maneuver, a modified Boston Crab, and Jericho just got almost beheaded by Benoit. And Angle scoop slam, hard slam. Like Angle hit his second gear, King. Come on, Kurt. Oh. Spinning heel kick by Jericho. The Canadian Chris Benoit holding on like a pit bull. A 2, a trifecta at WrestleMania with the bridge. It's over, and Angle made sure, I mean, at the very, very last moment, that we didn't get another 3. Come on, Kurt. Oh, no. Benoit trying to load up.
If I wrestled like that consistently, week after week, month after month, I'm going to see that World Wrestling Federation title, no doubt about it. And that is true. I think every man here hopes and wishes that someday they could win King of the Ring. And I did it 6, 7 months into my career. But, you know, I saw different attitudes in the locker room when I won that title. And I wasn't hurt by it, I was just a little bit surprised, you know. I had to take a step back and realize that, let's face it, these guys aren't me. And they never will be. I need a commoner's perspective. What do you think about these names? King Kurt. Huh? Hold on a second. How about King Angle? Hold on a second. I have a better one. How about Kurt Angle, Royal Gold Medalist? Huh?
He thinks that we all look up to him like he's something special. I don't look up to him. I think he's a piece of garbage.
I'm no longer Kurt Angle. I would like for you to call me King Kurt.
King Kurt?
Very good. Actually, you're picking this up a lot quicker than I thought. It's actually your version of an emperor or a warlord or head ninja.
I have never seen anyone as cocky as Kurt Angle outside the ring in the World Wrestling Federation in my 17-year career here.
But even as Kurt Angle scaled the heights of the WWF, he began to generate controversy backstage in the locker room.
One day I get out of the shower and I go look for my towel, not my...
But I am willing to give Mr. Blackman a chance to prove himself to me and to all of you, my wonderful fans.
One of Kurt's first moves in the WWF was to offer his assistance and guidance to a fellow WWF superstar.
Steve Blackman, we're talking about a black belt in martial arts. He's got a lot of quickness. He's pretty smart, but he's got what you would call a screw missing.
When he first came in, I mean, he might have been polished off on his Olympic skills, obviously. We'll give him a little bit of credit, but I don't want to give him a hell of a lot because he's just a pain in my ass.
Angle hooks the leg, could be it, and it's over.
Here are your winners of Lethal Weapon, Steve Blackman and Kurt Angle.
Angle and Blackman began to gather a series of victories as a tag team.
You showed a lot of poise, and you're making a great...
Olympic gold medal champion Kurt Angle.
People obviously know that I was an Olympic champion, but I've had success my whole life. I was a state champion and junior national champion in high school, a 2-time NCAA champion, 3-time All-American in college, athlete of the year 3 times in college. I was an athlete of the year 4 times after college on the Olympic level. I was a 5-time national champion on the Olympic and world level, a 1995 world champion, and in 1996, I shocked the world when I won the Olympic Games. I believe that destiny brought me to win this gold medal, and that it's taken me to the next level, the WWF, where I had the opportunity to further showcase my talents.
So after an extraordinary build-up for a newcomer, Kurt Angle made his WWF debut.
The most celebrated real athlete in WWF history, Kurt Angle!
He's got an innocence to him, that high school Harry kind of enthusiasm he has. Somebody just like you would think would be the star of the wrestling team in high school and college, and the one that the cheerleaders are always after. And that's the kind of personality Kurt really has.
Well, when Kurt Angle first came into the world of sports entertainment, I was very happy because Kurt and I have sort of a similar background. Of course, I never did obtain an Olympic gold medal like he did, but I was an All-American wrestler in college, a state champion in high school, and I heard his promos and his interviews and everything. Actually, I was proud of him because there was another guy who made it.
Your Olympic hero has arrived in Worcester, Massachusetts. What kind of reception is that? I don't get it. As all of you know, I have built a lifetime of success over a simple set of rules. Here we go. That I call the 3 I's: intensity, integrity, and intelligence.
And I'm living proof you can accomplish anything you want to, even in a depressed town like Worcester.
Kurt Angle reminds me of Wally on Leave It to Beaver. I mean, he's got that clean-cut look. And true, maybe in the year 2000. To me, Kurt Angle's cool.
To compare an Olympic gold medalist with a black belt in martial arts would be somewhat degrading to my many, many accomplishments.
I know he stole. I couldn't prove it, but he stole my towel.
He thinks as he won King of the Ring, he is King of the Walk. Come in, start moving people's bags and say, this is my spot here. He'll take tape and mark off a spot and doesn't want anybody in his area. He just makes me want to just crack him.
When I get into the arena, the first thing I do is I go to the locker room. And I pick my spot in the locker room where I want to put my stuff. So what I do is I pull out my tape, and I think everybody should do this, but I pull out the tape and I block off a little square. And that's my area. That's my designated area. And if anybody else would do it, I'd respect that, but that's my area. I don't think anybody should go into that area. Guys might think that I'm being inconsiderate or ignorant, but when I'm not talking to them and I'm thinking about my match, you can't do two things at once. And I really get into what I do here, and I want to win every single match. So it's really important for me to stick with my game plan and concentrate on what I have to do.
And the slippers? I need you at the feet out.
And I said, oh, wow. So I have to try out now? Yes.
Timing is everything. The shine, if you will, no pun intended, off that gold medal had faded a little bit. I believe you should have signed this deal in '96.
And he said, if you make it, you will get the lowest guarantee that any wrestler gets. All right, I guess I'll have to prove to you guys that I can do this, and eventually I'll make the big money.
I remember seeing this guy, and I'm thinking, okay, he's a good-looking guy, great physique, stud athlete with a big-ass neck, but can he make the transition?
Kevin Quinn, there's no doubt in my mind you're a tremendous wrestler.
No one is a guaranteed blue chipper in the business. You have to have something, and whether it's talent, a look, an ability to speak.
Some of the moves I've seen you...
I've seen so many amateur wrestlers come along, legitimately tough guys, that could never get it.
Okay. First of all, Bruce...
Now you're laughing at me, aren't you?
And so many guys come from the amateur ranks, and because of the ego involved, can't stand being on the bottom.
It was very difficult to go against my instincts and let people throw me around. Nobody ever did that to me before. Now I had to allow them to. One day I got out of the ring and I told my manager, I can't do this. This is garbage. I said, this is self-mutilation. Why would I want to do this? All I'm doing is hurt myself. This hurts. I walked out and my manager followed me and said, listen, just stay to the end of the day. Just do everything they do and see if you can do it. And I did. I stayed till the end of the day. And I was able to hang in there. I was sore as hell, but I showed up the next day and decided I was going to commit myself to this.
He approached our process without ego. He won a gold medal in the Olympics and came in with all this cachet and all this incredible accomplishment behind him. And he came in with great humility and said, I just want to learn. I'm going back to day one. And you checked your ego at the door.
Seldom will you find that in a great amateur wrestler. They're going to want to go in there and show you what they can do and how they can beat somebody up. But Kurt Angle got the idea. He was a great student.
I started picking things up relatively quickly. And I think they saw something in me they never saw before. So I got a contract.
Knee surgery. I'm glad to see you, but this Angle.
Yeah.
Man, kind of surprised to see you here so quickly, moving around after your knee surgery. I'm glad to see you, but why exactly are you here? Because it's a busy night and my time is money.
Well, I just want a moment of your time.
You got it. I'm listening. What's up?
Well, I've been at home watching everything play out since my surgery, and being at home alone, you start to look inside yourself.
Sure.
Well, I want you to look inside yourself. You think what you're doing is right to get ahead?
Hey, hold up. Wait a minute. Time out. Here the great Kurt Angle shows up. I think you come show here to fight me or to beat my ass and help underdog EY get by. And you come here with Dr. Phil mind games? Really? Is that what you think? Look, I came here and I dominated this roster with my plan. Dixie couldn't stop me. The entire roster couldn't stop me. And you think you're going to stop me with some mind games? Come on, man. I tell you what, let's do this. How about you drop this little guys right here and celebrate with us? It's a great night. And besides, think about this, Kurt. How would your family feel if they knew you came here to do the right thing and try to set things straight, but walked into a fight that you can't win? It seems to me you have two options. You can get with us, or you can get the hell out of my building. The choice is yours.
I think he said leave before you get forced to leave. Why don't you get out of my face? Why don't you get out of here, Kurt? I said get out of my face. I said get out of here, Kurt. Whoa! What are you gonna do? Huh?
I don't want to blame it on the crowd, but let's face it, when people are cheering boring to you and they're cheering for the other guy and you can't figure out why, especially when you're born in that town, that really got to me. And I think that's I know that's the reason I lost.
But even though Kurt Angle's undefeated streak was broken, he was soon to have his first shot at WWF Gold.
And tonight, I have decided to treat all of you and become the